In this video, what we're going to explore is some more basic operations, again, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, with rational expressions. And these really follow along the lines of the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division with just plain old fractions. So what we're going to do first, we're going to start with multiplying rational expressions just because it's a little bit easier, and then we'll build up to addition and subtraction. So with multiplying, essentially with all these, what you want to first do is factor completely. So I'm looking at this expression down here. The first rational expression here, that's already factored. Okay, so now I just have to deal with this last term over here. So I'm going to go ahead and factor that, and I'm just going to rewrite this first one with an equal sign, x plus 3, x minus 1, and then times, now x minus 1, or x squared minus 1, that's a difference of squares, and that factors as x minus 1 and x plus 1. Okay, and then similarly the denominator is difference of squares, so that's x minus 2 and x plus 2. Okay, so now it says cancel any factors common to both the numerator and the denominator. So I'm looking between the terms. I see that there's an x minus 2 here and an x minus 2, so I can cancel those. And then similarly, I see that there's an x minus 1 here and an x minus 1 here. Those can cancel. And so I'm left with, what as a result? I'm left with, in the numerator, again I just multiply across, I'm left with an x plus 1 divided by, and then I multiply the denominators across, I'm left with an x plus 3, that quantity times x plus 2. Okay. Again, I followed these three steps, and that would be my final answer. Okay. Division, same thing. First we can factor, that should be up here. That's step 0, if you will. So I'm going to factor, I get x minus 3, x minus 2 in the numerator on this one. Then this one factors as x plus 2 quantity squared. And then I'll leave division in here. And I forgot my equal sign. Divide by x minus 3. And then this is going to be x plus 2, x plus 3. Alright, so now I'm going to do step 1, which is to change that second one to multiplication by the reciprocal. So let's see, the first one remains unchanged, x minus 3, x minus 2 over x plus 2 quantity squared. Now times, and the numerator is now x plus 2 times x plus 3, all divided by x minus 3. Okay, let's see what we have in common. I have an x minus 3. Those cancel. I have, let's see, I have an x plus 2, and I'm going to do it in the numerator because there's actually 2 of them, and an x plus 2. Those will cancel. And I think that's it. So my end result here is, now I multiply across again, x minus 2 times x plus 3, all divided by x plus 2. Okay? And so multiplication is fairly straightforward. Division is straightforward once we get multiplication down. Okay? The idea is, again, and maybe I'll add in a step 0 here, factor completely. Okay? And so then next, and the last example in this video is going to be adding and subtracting rational expressions. So again, what do we do? We begin by factoring. Okay, and then we're going to find a common denominator, multiply each expression by the missing components of the common denominator, and then add and subtract as appropriate. Okay, just like we did with fractions. Okay, so my first question, well, let's factor it first. So I factor, let's see, this is going to be x minus 2, x minus 3, all over x plus 2 squared. This is kind of similar to the last one, except we have a subtraction side. X minus 3 over, and then this is going to be x plus 2, x plus 3. Okay, so now I need to think, well, what is my least common denominator? Okay, well, I have to look between these two terms. So I look at this first term. I definitely need an x plus 2 squared. Okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It definitely has to contain that. So 2 x plus 2's. Okay, and now I look at that second one. Well, there is one present, so that's okay. And I can always add another. And then it also has to contain this x plus 3. So my least common denominator here is going to be x plus 2, that quantity squared, times x plus 3. Okay, so now I have to figure out, what is this one missing? What is this first term missing? Well, to get to that least common denominator, I need to multiply by what? Well, I'm missing that x plus 3. Okay, but whatever I do to the denominator, I also have to do to the numerator, x plus 3. And then over here, this term, let me see if I can move that over. Nope. The second term here is missing what? It's missing another x plus 2. So what I'm gonna multiply this one by is x plus 2 to both numerator and denominator. Okay, so what do I get out as a result? Well, I'm gonna get equals. Okay, I'm gonna certainly have that x plus 2. Sorry, x minus 2. Let's start over. X minus 2, x plus 3, or that's a minus again, sorry, x minus 3, and then I have the x plus 2 squared, and I add in that x plus 3 from the least common denominator, and then I also have to remember this guy, so I'm going to have an x plus 3. Alright, and so let's see what else. Then I subtract from this what? I have the x minus 3 divided by, I have an x plus 2, and I have an x plus 3. Okay, and now I need to add in that squared from this one, and then the x plus 2 here. Okay, so after this I'm pretty much done. I have my least common denominator as x plus 3, x plus 2 squared. And then in my numerator, I'm not going to FOIL this all out. I'm just going to recopy what's up here. Normally what we would do is we would add or subtract the terms here, right? But this one, you end up with a cubic, a third degree polynomial, which this one isn't going to be too bad, but I'm not going to spend time going through that algebra. So in this case, what I did is I just left it as this whole thing minus this whole thing. Okay, I didn't even bother writing it out. Normally in worksheets, we do expect you to show simplification. Okay, we do expect you to show that. Okay, so just know that. And so that's a basic overview of how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide rational expressions.